I listen to the people that say that if you don't make mistakes, you're not doing anything. Apparently I've been pretty busy. I've been making a lot of mistakes. But also we get a lot done when you look at the grand scheme of things. You're concerned about the taxes. This commission that we have today, the ones we've had for the past 3 years, haven't raised your taxes. Taxes haven't gone up for us. The level of service that you've been getting hasn't really gone down that much. It's not a perfect world. And things are tighter than they've ever been before, not only for us as a government, but for you as a citizen. And they understand that. And therefore, what they're asking me to do on a regular basis is to be more effective, more efficient, and get as much, if not more, done without raising your taxes. Sounds like a good thing to do, right? Let me tell you how hard that is, because unfortunately, Georgia Power, we got anybody here from Georgia Power? They keep raising your light bill. And you know what? People complain about that. Does it do any good? Nah, not really. They're still going to raise your light bill. And they got a good reason to do that, because they want to get rid of it. I know they don't want to get rid of it. Their costs go up, and they got to do that. The gas company, anybody got natural gas? That seems to go up too about every little while, doesn't it? And talking of gas, when's the last time you went by a gas station? Goodness gracious. If I could predict the cost of gas a year from now, I'd be a real smart person. That's what a lot of people want me to do when we get a budget. Chris Thomas says that all day. Well, what's it going to be a year from now? How come you didn't get it right last year? I don't know, Chris. You know what the cost of gas is going to be a year from now? If you do, you're in the wrong line of work. Instead of reporting the news or making it up, instead of trying to report the news, you need to be out in the gas futures business, because that's where it's at. So the price of gas is going up. The price of natural gas is going up. The price of power is going up. Anybody been to the grocery store like this? That's sort of going up too, isn't it? Have your taxes gone up? No. Yeah. So some of you say, well, I pay more than I've ever paid. And that might be because your property value is going up. I don't have anything to do with that. You can get mad at somebody else for that. Don't blame my commission, and don't blame me. That's like blaming poor Steve when he gets the bill. Steve doesn't make up the numbers. He just sends out the bill. His home phone number, if you would like the bill, I'll be more than happy to do that here. I won't put it out. We've got reporters here, but if you want to try them, just let me know, and I'll be happy to take it just later. I'll even give you his private cell phone number. That's only 2 or 3 people got that number. I don't see why you can't. So your taxes haven't gone up, despite the fact that everything else is okay? That's sort of what I was told to do, sort of manage this government, and do it as best we could without raising your taxes, and try to provide the same level of service. Let me tell you what that doesn't do. That doesn't make a lot of people happy sometimes. Some of those people that aren't happy are city employees. And that's a shame. Because I'd love to have 2,700 happy city employees. And I could do it real easy by giving them raises, paying them more money for doing what they're doing now. But guess how we have to get that money? We have to raise your taxes. I just don't think it's time to do that. Now, I'm getting criticized for giving several people some raises. And that sort of befuddles me somewhat, because it's my understanding that when you tell people they have to do more, you have to compensate them for it. We eliminated some positions, and we combined some duties, and those little raises that we gave. And, the word is everybody got 15%, but that's not really accurate. Some people got 15%, which is in my authority to do. Some people got 5%, some people got 10%.
based on how much extra they were doing. How much extra they were doing. That only makes sense to me. That when you pay people and you ask them to do more, you got to pay them for it. I think we've all tightened our belt. But these people have tightened their belt and done more. They've replaced people that are no longer there. They've replaced people with salaries you're not having to pay anymore. We took one job, eliminated that position, gave people about $30,000 out of the 100 and some food benefits that one person was getting. That's a net profit to you as a taxpayer of $70,000. We could do that all day, couldn't we? It just makes sense to me. It just makes sense. Which is the theme of what I want to talk about tonight, is how do we make government make sense? Government across the board has got problems. We've got political scientists here, and political scientists, you know what they do? You know what the definition of political scientist is? Somebody to study politics. And that politics is just the relationship between people. And we've got people at the federal level, we've got people at the state level, and we've got people at the local level that, in my mind, have lost target as to why they're there. Why are they there? Why do you send them places to represent you? I don't think you send them to argue about issues that have no solution. I think you send them to work towards a common goal. And that common goal is the betterment of how we live every day. You know, when somebody stakes out a position on the far left, and somebody else stakes out a position on the far right, and there's no compromise whatsoever, we totally wasted our time going to the ballot box. Let's think about that for a minute. If Johnny's going to vote no on everything, and Sue over here is going to vote yes on everything, why do we need them? They need to talk to each other. They want to run around and listen to us all the time. That's a good thing. They ought to know what the voters want. But they need to talk to each other. And we need to have a common vision. And that common vision needs to be what they work for. Real simple with the commission. The vision that they gave me for this year is don't raise taxes. Don't touch law enforcement. And figure out how to make it work with what you got. Okay? You know, he gets about 43% of the general fund. That's a lot for cops. Okay? And 43% of what we do. Just think of what it would be if we didn't have all those bad people. We do the good people. It pains me dearly to spend that kind of money on bad people. But I can't spend money on any seniors, help the kids, or whatever. That's the reality of the world. That's what we do. I was told not to touch your budget. That's what we know. The commission said not to cut your money. But 43% of what I got, by goodness gracious, let's talk about what we can save out of what you've got. Okay? And some of you know that we just opened up, we're getting ready to open up a new jail out at the Western Detention Center. And we're going to move all the prisoners out of the old jail. Okay? That's going to save you some money. Okay? Because right now, with this budget, as I've said over and over again, but nobody seems to want to repeat, we knew we were going to have to double up a little bit and add some additional money because we're running two jails now. Said that last year, said it 6 months ago, said it 3 weeks ago. You didn't hear that on TV anyway, did you? And you did. And then we talk about holding people in jail. I'm a cop, I know that. My background's law enforcement. I've made a living out locking up bad people. And love to do it every chance I get. Bad people. People that shouldn't be on the streets. There's a difference between the people we're afraid of and the people we're mad at. Somebody doesn't pay a parking ticket or a fine or something like that, I'm mad at them, but I ain't afraid of them. Somebody that had a small altercation, first time in their life they've ever done that, I might get mad at them too, but I ain't afraid of them.
somebody rob a bank, somebody kill somebody, somebody hurt somebody, I'm afraid of them, and you know where they ought to be? They ought to be in jail. But I can't afford to spend $50 a day to lock up somebody on that. I want to lock up somebody I'm afraid of. 2 years ago, we were budgeting for 1,300 prisoners in our jail a day. Okay? That's a lot of people at $50 a day. We're holding less than 1,000 now. Okay? Does that mean we got murderers running around the street? Heavens no. Which is something else. Right. Heavens no. That means we got. That's not what we're doing. We're not locking up people that didn't need to be locked up to begin with. We're being smart about it. And you know what we're doing? We're saving you money. But I got to get from someplace. I might as well get it from not locking up that poor guy who got a traffic ticket. You know, in Georgia, you can go to jail if you want to stop sign. Wow. When I came here from Virginia, I was just something man. We should lock up people for child support in Georgia. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, you can't support your kids, just put you in jail. We pay you a lot to go there, don't we? Come on, people, let's be smart about what we do. By reducing those numbers and the savings that we got, I figure Ronnie can save us about $2 million a year. Not putting any threat on anybody, not making the world a dangerous place, just using our hands, using a little common sense. That's something else we don't have a lot of in this world anymore, common sense. I'm not too smart, but I was blessed with a little common sense. The headline that day, or the next day on TV was, Administrator slashes sheriff's budget by $2 billion. He said to the same conversation me and the sheriff had. I called Ronnie and said, what did I say that I missed? Because I thought I said it all, and then, all of a sudden I'm watching it and said, well, he goes, well, it wasn't a different meeting, because I heard the same thing you did. He said, we're not going to affect cops on the street. We're not going to affect law enforcement. If we can save money by doing this, let's talk about doing it. We can make a decision there. We can say we won't talk about it. I can call there and say, well, you can't cut the sheriff's budget. Let's plan on cutting the sheriff's budget. I was just planning on not even providing housing to people out of town, as opposed to people out of town. You know, people, it's hard. Because he had a headline that he had 30 seconds. And if he said, Fred Russell says, don't lock up people we're mad at, only lock up people we're afraid of, and by doing that, we can say, y'all probably wouldn't want to listen to that, would you? But I was going to get mad at me for cutting the sheriff's budget. Ronnie didn't spend all the money last year. Gave about $1 million, gave you about $1 million some dollars back. That's good to sheriff. That's what common sense. And the sheriff understands the value of the nickel. And the sheriff understands that there are ways to do things that are cost effective and efficient. The sheriff's not worried about headlines. I'm not worried about headlines. I'm worried about doing what's right for you. Sometimes it can do a difference. Our job is to do what you want. Your job is to help fellows. You do that through your elected people. You got to be humble. You got to know what you want. You've got to be able to communicate that with the people that you elect. And they have to be able to do one of two things. One of which is to communicate. And that's twofold. They have to communicate with you so they can hear what you want. They explain to you the rationale for doing what they do. And then they have to communicate with each other. As a citizen of this great country, I found the federal debate on taxes and health care and all that stuff that we've just gone through. It pushed us to the limit on our economic situation, totally disgusting. Why are people playing games with my livelihood? I've been here 9 years now, and I've been in front of you probably once or twice every year, and I've never played a game with your livelihood. I've never told you anything that I didn't think was in the best interest of this community, and I think you know that.
I told you some things you might not want to hear. That's the reality of what you got to do. You got to do that, and you got to have the willpower to do it. It's not all cake and ice cream, people. Sometimes you have to break the egg. Sometimes you have to go borrow a cup of sugar. But until you do all that, you never will have anything. We all know that, and you know that. The reality of the world is it's not the same world it was yesterday. It's not going to be the same world tomorrow. We can no longer allow the people that we have in office to play games with our lives. We can no longer allow government people like me, bureaucrats, to play games with our lives. I've said over and over and over again, never be satisfied with anything less than the best of your government. You deserve that. You deserved it last year, you deserve it today, and you deserve it next year. And the year after that, and the year after that. Don't live in a vacuum. Ask questions. Look around. But be cognizant of the fact that you're not going to get it your way all the time. And if you think you are, you're living in a world that probably doesn't exist. It's a good city, we don't have any public debt. Part of the problem with Augusta is we've never had challenges. We've had individual challenges, some minor challenges. But we've never really faced what we face today. And that's a world that we really don't control. You know, I say regularly, in any room that I'm in the city, be it the commission chamber, or this room, or whatever, the enemy's not here. The enemy's not here. The enemy's in Savannah, in Charleston, in Columbia, in the places that we have to fight for jobs, places we have to fight for our resources, places we have to compete with. That's where the enemy's at. And sometimes we're like a family here, you know? Sometimes we'd rather argue amongst ourselves, go next door and say, y'all cut down the music because it's too loud. We need to, in my mind, decide where we want to be, how we're going to get there, and be willing to make the effort to do that. A lot of potential in our great city. Hearts in the Heart this weekend. If you haven't ever been to that, go come down and take a look. It's amazing. Next weekend on the 25th, we've got the largest half Ironman in the entire world. People from all across the world come to Augusta to do what? Swim in our river, ride bikes in South Carolina, and they're up and down our roads. You know what they're doing when they come? They're bringing money. They're filling up our hotel occupancy rate this year is higher than it was last year. Today, we got more people visiting this year than we had last year. Given this economy, that's amazing. And you know what? Last year was the best year we ever had. Our sales tax numbers are holding their own. You know, part of our problem is we want to argue about little stuff, not argue about where we want to be 10 years from now. We'd rather argue about whether or not some guy got a 10% raise. Or some guy got this, or some guy got this, or some guy didn't get this. You know, that's not what we ought to do. I don't want to trespass on your time anymore, and I probably said way more than I should. Based on what I said, I might not be here next year. Or I might not be here next week. But if I am, let me assure you that every waking moment, every thought that I have, and every... It's not that over again, it's always just in my relationship. Let me assure you that every waking moment I have, every thought process that I go through, every drop of sweat that I sweat, and every brain cell that I can use is going to be used to make Augusta a better place. Thank you. And I held accountable for those decisions by almost 200,000 people. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I wish I could just say what I thought and not have to worry about the impact. That would be awful reality sometimes, but I guess I'm not a television person or a radio person. I'll never be able to do that. But if I get fired, you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to give you one of those jobs where all I have to do is talk about stuff and don't have to do anything. You know what? That's got to be a way to do it. Remember, we run a little bit late, and I apologize for trespassing on your time, but I would like to give you a chance to ask a few questions. Hopefully easy questions, a little bit brain. If you have anything more hard, Steve will take care of it. Steve will take care of that. But,
trailer in there, but he was gonna charge it to put his name in there. And, we couldn't afford it, he thought too much of his name to, no, I wouldn't say that. But seriously, though, please, you know, my phone number is 706-821-2400. Please, if you don't like what I've said, keep it to yourself. If you do like it, call me and let me know. I don't get a lot of positive feedback. But, no, in all honesty, thank you for the opportunity to tell you what I think about. And this is what the world's about. I respect everybody's opinion. I've been a cop most of my life, and I've been spit on, kicked, and hit by people that I disagree with, and by people that I agree with. Everybody has your right to your opinion, and I'll defend that with my dying breath. I just think it's a shame when we listen to the idiots.
And we see other big cities with vibrant mass transit systems. I'm wondering, do you see that on the horizon for us?
Unfortunately, no. Simply because, let me tell you the reason why. Money is one reason. But unfortunately, mass transit works in a place where there's a need for it. And at this point, the critical need for mass transit has not reached that tipping point yet in my mind. It might sometime in the near future, but as long as I can drive downtown and park without a whole lot of hassle, you know, the need for mass transit is not there at the moment. I had one before I started talking. And there's a lot of things that I'd like to get done around here. You know, if y'all run me off, obviously I'm going to look for something, or, you know, I got obligations too. And I think I'm marketable enough to find a job. But if you don't want me, just let me know. I'll start looking. But I was in Colorado watching a